Hello everyone, welcome to our first episode of A Little More Light. So today we have a very special guest. So as we go forward in the episode, we will discover who she is, stories she has to share. Welcome Bhavya. So how was the detention?
Yesterday's detention.
What made you quit UPSC preparation? Enter UPSC, then quit and join politics.
Yes, that was my aim because I don't have a political background. I'm the first generation
That's very
politician.
good.
Yeah,
What is your ambition?
I want to see to that not one woman in Karnataka has one drop of tears in her eyes. Karnataka should become the topmost when it comes to employment. That's only because their energies are not channelized in the right way. Education. Education is one of the most important thing. Yeah, beyond Bangalore is my motto. And think about the demography. If all the youngsters come to Bangalore, when people vote for like money, they want you to remain unemployed. They want you to remain uneducated so that you will elect them. The last thing I want to tell the students is, when I was a student as well, I thought UPSC is the end of my life. The attitude should be like, they don't select me, it's their loss. I will do much better in a much better position.
Hello everyone, welcome to our first episode of A Little More Light. So today we have a very special guest. So as we go forward in the episode, you will discover who she is and what she has done and what story she has to share and what you can learn from her experiences. Welcome Bhavya. So how
Thank
was
you.
the detention yesterday?
Okay, yesterday's detention, it was kind of disappointing in the beginning because I thought, what if the students get, carried away, because there were around 500 police
Hmm.
around Hampi Nagar,
Hmm.
and they were scaring away the students, saying, no,
Okay.
you know what, you can't assemble here, you can't protest and stuff like that. But then they detained me, they took me to University Police Station. By the time students got to know that I'm in University Police Station, and they were all gathering.
At the police station.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Then the police snatched my phone away so that I don't communicate with them, and then they took me to Kengeri Police Station.
Okay.
But
Mhm.
still, I had actually yesterday anticipated that I would be detained. And I
Okay.
had told my volunteers, no matter what, you will
Hmm.
continue the protest.
Hmm.
This is something that's going to happen, preventive arrest,
But are you
protest.
confident that a change will take place?
I think this time I'm 100% because all this while, they were protesting in clusters. Either KPSC aspirants used to protest, say for
Hmm.
results. That
Hmm.
happened like 20 days
Correct.
ago
Yes.
under my
Hmm.
leadership. Or KSP aspirants against the corruption,
Hmm.
the Karnataka State Police
Okay.
Service aspirants. So all this used to go unnoticed.
Correct.
This time, what I planned was uniting all these students together because they're all facing the same problems, although from different organizations.
There is a vacuum for leadership.
Yes. So this time, I united all of them.
Hmm.
And this fight is against three things: the non transparency in recruitment,
Hmm.
then the corruption, and then comes the delay in notification. If notification happens, then the delay in results.
Hmm.
Then if the results come, then there is some or the other case because of the corruption.
Hmm.
And like this, so many students have lost their years of
Future.
life.
Yes.
Yeah,
Correct.
their future, their dreams.
No, I want to know about your experience. Once upon a time, you were an IAS
I was an
aspirant.
aspirant, yes.
So you shared that during 2011, 12, 13, you
Yes,
stayed in Delhi.
yes. I came met you as well. You were starting then,
right, in
and
15.
you gave me
So how was the
really good
experience
insights.
yesterday? Like, looking at aspirants who are struggling to make a life out of, these exams
Yes.
and you leading them.
Before yesterday, I remember why I did this united fight was KPSC aspirants used to come to me saying, ma'am, we
Mhm.
need this. KSP aspirants, madam, there is corruption. We need age relaxation or notification are not coming up. And KEA aspirants saying there was paper leak,
Correct.
corruption. So I decided, okay, you know what? Whenever they came, I literally saw tears in their eyes.
Mm.
Mostly these students are from like economically backward community or socially backward community. They come from villages having this passion for service.
Correct.
And then then you see this disappointment. They sit here, study for years together, depending on their parents for financial support. And then they will be like spending thousands of rupees,
Correct.
to join a course or to
But
study in
I'm
libraries.
curious, like, about you are a politician now. So from an UPSC aspirant to politician, you have made a great transition and you are
Yes.
succeeding in that. Now, do you see students trusting you? Because trust deficit exists between politicians and the public.
Yes. So this particular movement, if I may call it, or a protest movement is what I would call, because this doesn't end with one protest.
Hmm.
This I've made very clear that this will be non-political.
Hmm.
And the center stage, although they see me as a leader, I've already built a secondary leadership around me. It shows like yesterday's protest was a huge success. All the students, without me, they went to the Freedom Park and they protested till evening. Around 2,000 and odd students were there. So that shows like, everyone who organized this were students. But there was no politician other than me. But even I identified myself as a social worker there. Even the police, when they made a note of me,
So
I
can
told
we
them,
make the distinction between somebody being a social worker and then politician,
a politician?
at the same time?
So no matter what, even if you belong to a political party, you have your individual life as well.
Correct.
I can always tell, like, I'm a social worker here. You don't have to quote my political party.
There is so
Yeah,
much polarization.
polarization
Right?
now, yes.
So the other political party or
Yes.
other political forces might always try to project you,
This is a very good question, because yesterday what happened after everything, when I came back, a couple of students came to me. They said, ma'am, although our ideology doesn't match, I support the opposition part, the other party,
That's
the
great.
opposite party to what you belong to, but your passion for this protest made us come and trust you.
So you had students, I mean,
Yes,
those who believe
they
in other
came and
ideology
told me
coming
that. They came and told me that we are so happy that this is happening politically. We felt we belong to this protest because of your leadership and because you didn't bring any political ideology here. Your only and only goal, our only and only goal is
Okay, slightly controversial
these people.
question, but do
Yeah.
you see it as a political platform for yourself?
I don't see this as a political platform for myself, because I am working in my constituency individually through my NGO. This is purely and with my wholeheartedly.
concerned.
I'm doing this only because I've seen tears in those students' eyes when they came to me.
And you
Even
were an
while
aspirant also. Once
I was
upon
an
a time.
aspirant and I've seen what KPSC is. I gave one attempt in KPSC. I wrote my mains in 2012.
Okay.
Then I understood like there was a lot of corruption and you have to, unless you pay money, you can't get into it and all that. And after that, I never gave KPSC attempt. I decided it's not
so
for me.
now you are in the politics.
Yeah.
So you might have, of course, you have interacted with big people in politics. So can you throw light why it is difficult to reform institutions like KPSC? Can we blame politics for the?
We can. We totally can. Because KPSC members are always from the ruling party. They appoint the KPSC members who have a major control over that. There should be a proper method, I think, in appointment of the members. And then where comes the administration, which is headed by the secretary, they will be controlled by them as well. So when there is two levels of corruption, one through the administration and one through the other body where the members and the chairman, of course, it will be difficult to reform it. But through our protest, then our next step is to give a memorandum to the governor. We have taken an appointment. They have told us in a couple of days they will give us an appointment. There we will mention all of this. Because KPSC is a constitutional body, they are answerable to the governor. They have to submit a report. So that's why we are doing this. Although we are also giving a memorandum about KSP and KEA, the problems that exist there as well. To both, we are planning to give it to the chief minister as well, because KSP and KEA directly comes under him. Yeah.
So after quitting UPSC, okay, before that, what made you quit UPSC preparation? Why did you quit it?
I was giving my UPSC. I gave my third attempt. Fourth attempt, I wrote my prelims as well. My sisters, they are in US and they were like, you know what, you've done your engineering. You're giving this UPSC, I understand, but why don't you get a master's, go back, and then you can still write UPSC. And then if that doesn't work out, you can, have an alternate career.
How did you get into Ivy League?
I decided, although my bachelor's was in engineering, electrical and electronics, I knew I wanted to get into a public career. Since childhood, I wanted to enter politics. So I was like, I'm not doing my MS in electrical and electronics or anything like that. Anything related to my subject, because I was preparing for UPSC and the subjects were so interesting. I knew only if I continue in that, I can, get into politics later. Then I searched for the courses,
So you had
and
this
public
thought,
policy
like,
was...
first enter UPSC, then quit and join politics.
Yes, that was my aim. Like get into service, because I don't have a political background.
It's okay.
So-
Many aspirants harbor that kind of dream.
Yes, because I don't have a political background. I thought I'll
So
understand the
nobody in
system.
your family.
No
is-
one. I'm
Oh,
the first
that's
generation
very good.
politician.
Good.
Yeah. So I wrote these
Then you went
exams.
to, yes.
GRE I wrote. I got a top score and I got into 2 Ivy Leagues, Brown and Columbia.
Good.
And I chose Columbia because it was in New York. It'll be fun. And yeah, of course, Ambedkar studies in that university
Yeah,
and
right.
Obama.
Hmm.
So I thought that's one of the best one. And it was close to the UN. And my dream was to work in UN for a while. Yeah.
Okay. So, how was your experience at Columbia? Did you face any cultural shock?
Oh yeah. In the beginning, first semester was like a nightmare.
Okay.
The
Why?
cultural shock there, because here we are only with Indians, and when I was in Delhi, I got a little used to it because
Cosmopolitans,
it,
little bit.
there were students, even among students, there were students from all the states, and this UPSC journey actually helped me cope with my
Oh, that's nice.
cultural shock there. But then from the second semester, I understood the
Any
system.
unpleasant experience you
Yeah,
remember?
I did, and I learned a lot. There definitely is racism there. When it comes to Indians also. The best, one of the lessons I learned was in almost all our courses, they used to group us and give us projects and stuff. And every time we make a point, we discuss, let's do this, let's do this. Every time I make a point, they don't listen. Then one of the man makes the same point a little louder. It became a point. I'm like, didn't I just say that? Then I understood how, being a woman and being a little soft doesn't really help. You have to be very assertive. And, that's something I learned there in my first semester itself.
That's helping
After
in
that,
politics also.
yes. After that, I was like, okay, in no group am I going to compromise, or be scared or take a step back. Even if I'm wrong, they won't agree. It's okay.
Correct. Even
I
if
won't
you're
make
wrong, like it's
Yeah,
okay
they will
to
agree. Yeah,
make
it's
a
okay.
point.
It's
Yes.
okay to make a point. But whatever your opinions are, you need to express it. That's one of the lessons I learned there. But the best part is about, I should not say tolerance, I should say mutual respect is what I learned there.
Okay.
In my university, there were like students from 89 countries.
Okay. It was
In
a
my own
course in
class.
public policy.
Public policy, yeah.
Hmm.
It's called Columbia University School of International and Public Affairs.
Okay.
Something that is normal to me might be offensive to someone from another country. Something that is normal to them was offensive to us. So we learn how to tolerate and accept. That's something I learned. The
So
third
that is going
point,
through unpleasant experiences.
Yeah,
you have
yeah.
to go through them.
yeah. And the third point was, I must say, gender was always in my heart. Like gender justice and gender equality. There, I specialized in gender in public policy, and my concentration was economic and political development. Then I think gender got into my brain as well. So it was both in my heart and brain. Then I was like very sure this is my cause I want to fight for.
Are you able to do that in Indian politics? No?
Oh, it's really, really challenging. Very challenging. I'm 100%
You can
sure
give like 2 to 3 reasons why you think it is very challenging.
a man with my qualification and the amount of hard
Correct.
work I put in, where they're right now in politics, he would have gotten much more opportunities that I am getting.
Correct.
I definitely deserve much better opportunities, but I know I'll fight for it.
And again, within gender, like you have got certain opportunities, and there are like women without these kind of qualifications.
Yeah,
Again, what about their struggles?
they're struggling. They're definitely struggling because my own team, I have across Karnataka, I have a women's team. They tell me about all the sexual harassment they face, just because they're aspiring to be in powerful position. And they're like, Mom, this is happening. So what do we do? It takes so much courage to be, outside in a
Again,
public
you cannot
career
raise
for women.
voice against your own leader sometimes.
We'll have to. But my experience, thankfully, so far in the beginning, I did experience a couple of such, disturbances. But now that I have public support, not many people dare to do such
So
things
public
with me.
support is the insurance.
Yeah, definitely. You go with the public, you be genuine to their causes, and you become their voice. I'm sure nobody else will dare,
Okay, so I have seen, like I've been following you, like you were an interesting case study for me. So I saw you in 2015. We had a brief interaction,
Yes.
and then you continued with Columbia course, and
Yes.
then when you came back, I was thinking like you would get into UPSC, but then you had made a transition into
Politics.
public policy, politics, and those things. And I've seen because you were in my contact, I used to see your WhatsApp status. So that you started with grassroots level.
Yes.
If I have to say activism or social work. How was that experience? Having all kinds of qualification, then going to grassroots level.
Yes.
Was it a conscious decision or?
So I started this kind of work while preparing for UPSC, even before going to US. I
Okay.
was volunteering for like a couple of NGOs, Child
Oh,
Rights NGO,
Very good.
and
Cry.
another this thing,
Yes.
Cry, and
Yes.
another small NGO.
Mhm.
So I started that only because just preparing for UPSC is not enough. I need to understand the ground level,
Mhm.
work and all that. I used to go to these slums in Bangalore and see their difficulties.
Mhm.
When I was in engineering, I feel like we people are so ignorant. All these privileged lot. We just
Correct.
have to go to college, come back.
Mhm.
I definitely suggest all the aspirants to take out time, 2 hours a week or
Mhm.
something, and go join some NGO as just volunteers, do
Mhm.
some social work. You will at least understand the system. You'll get
Okay.
this passion
Mhm.
for public service. The next part is I went to US, and there also, although after my masters, when I worked for the UN Women in Headquarters, it was completely in the office. It was kind of very luxurious meetings and
Correct.
get-togethers and
Those
parties.
big buildings, offices.
Yes, that was good because it was
Mhm.
the headquarters in New York. Then I went to Egypt.
Okay.
In New York, I worked with UN Women.
Mhm.
Here in Egypt, I worked with United Nations Population Fund
Okay.
on gender-based violence. This
Mhm.
was the headquarters of 15 Arab countries.
Mhm.
There I saw we worked with the people as well.
Mhm.
That's where my actual groundwork worked. That was on gender-based violence, different kinds of gender-based
Okay.
violence, how UNFPA is working with them,
That was in which
and all
year?
that.
Like if you can remember.
This was in 2017.
17. Okay.
Yeah,
Mhm.
6 months,
Mhm.
16, 17, like that. So after that, when I went to Nepal
Mhm.
with UNICEF,
Mhm.
that was like to the ground. We
Yeah.
went to these hilly areas
Mhm.
looking for like children, malnourished children. It was on
Mhm.
malnutrition. We
Mhm.
prepared a national program for malnourishment, multi-sector nutrition program.
Mhm.
So we visited these places, and the children were so poor. And there were these case studies. If I may
Mhm.
quote one, there how even gender equality affects malnutrition.
Okay.
So a woman gave birth to twins,
Mhm.
correct? A girl and a boy.
Mhm.
She was forced to breastfeed the boy and not the girl
Mhm.
by her family. This is a case study from
Mhm.
UNICEF that happened in Nepal,
Mhm.
and the girl child died.
Mhm.
This is something, these kind of stories I kept hearing about the differences. And in UN Women, when I worked on all 195 countries and what are the different kinds of violences that are happening. This gave me a very strong feeling that this is a cause I really want to work for. Then I decided, why other countries? I
Mhm.
understand my own country's culture, so let
Mhm.
me go back to my country and work, for my people
Okay. So
at the ground level.
by all these experiences, you might have had your own expectations, when you entered politics. Uh, did you meet those expectations? Are you disappointed?
I'm definitely disappointed, or maybe I'm being impatient. I don't know. But I really have hope and I look
Mhm.
forward. I will work hard to
You're
meet.
optimistic.
I'm very optimistic, yes.
Mhm.
More optimistic because people support.
Mhm.
I definitely have people support that makes you very powerful. A
Mhm.
feeling of power,
Yeah,
when
yeah, right.
people support you.
Correct. That is a true power.
Yes, that's the
And I
true
have a
power. I
theory,
understood that.
I have a
Yes.
theory, my own theory. Many people ask this question: why politicians live longer? Right. So I say it is
Yeah.
not because they take special kind of food, mushroom, or anything. It's because they enjoy the support of people. The notion of power, morning to midnight. Uh, they feed on the power. Even when they are not in power, still they
Mm-hmm.
have the popular support.
Yeah, yeah.
So maybe I think that gives them kind of sense of satisfaction or
Yes.
fulfillment. I think their
Maybe,
mind
yeah.
is maybe.
I don't know about long life, but definitely in the
Most of them
beginning.
live longer, right? Like most of the
Yeah,
politicians don't
yeah,
die
most
before
of them.
90s.
No, in the beginning, I had a lot of challenges
Hmm.
until, people recognized me in politics. Sometimes I used to doubt myself,
Did you
was
ever
this the
feel
right
like
thing to do?
quitting? Yeah.
I didn't feel like quitting, but I'm like, did I take the right decision? But I knew if I quit, I wouldn't be happy in my life.
Hmm.
I want to make my way. Somehow I have to. But many times I was like doubtful, definitely, but I kept up.
How did your parents support in all of this? Are they still supportive?
So the thing is, when I was going to Egypt, My sisters were super worried. Egypt is not a place for
Correct,
women.
correct, yes.
Like,
That was
you
post
know, during
Arab Spring also.
yes, during Arab Spring, there was an American journalist who was like,
Correct.
you know,
Yeah, yeah.
abused inside a crowd and all that. And even when I went there were like some really scary experience that I faced there.
Achha, you faced.
Yes,
also.
I myself faced. But before going there, my sisters were against it.
Mm.
My mom was like, she didn't know what to do. My
Okay.
dad said one thing: when you're there to do something good,
Mhm.
even if nothing good happens, I'm sure nothing bad will happen. Go ahead.
Okay. Mm.
So my sisters were like almost in tears. They're like, we're not sending her. We're not sending her. My brother-in-laws were also worried, but they were supportive.
Mhm.
Then I went there. So I think it's the same thing, you know. Even when I came back here, I knew if I have this genuine concern for people, nothing can go wrong.
What of parent support? Like you,
So
they have seen
when I
you,
came
no?
back, my dad is a little concerned about me. When I told him about politics,
Mhm.
he said, why don't you just do social service? You know, I will completely support you. But
Mm.
politics is a dirty field. You don't know how people will betray
That too
you.
without
When
any
you're a
godfather
woman,
or without
yes,
any
you're a
support.
woman, you don't have background and all that. My mom is like, she's already gone to people and said, my daughter will stand for elections and she will win. She's super proud.
Mm.
But my dad is a little concerned, you know. He's a little protective.
Mm.
Yeah.
Now they have seen these visuals, right? They might have seen
So the
you
first
getting
time,
dragged away
yeah.
by police.
So the first time they saw this was during one of the protests
Mhm.
through my political party. So that day they were super scared.
Mhm.
They thought I won't come home. They have jailed me. Then I had to go back home and tell them the difference between arrest and detaining.
Detention. Mm.
Detention. So they were like, oh, is it? Yeah, I told them the police take you and they don't put you in jail.
Mhm.
They detain you until, you know, the crowd gets dispersed and they let you go.
And then when you are detained, they'll give you coffee, tea, biscuits. and
Yeah,
all.
they do. They were really kind. Even yesterday, the police were really kind.
Mm.
They took care of me, and they're like,
Mm.
"Madam," I was like, I'm not gonna eat anything or drink coffee, nothing.
Mm. Satyagraha.
Satyagraha. I did a complete satyagraha even yesterday. Only after they released, I ate with some of my volunteers who had not eaten anything since
Oh.
morning. I ate with them.
Okay.
So since morning, they were like, "Have coffee." I said, "No, juice, ma'am, no. Other than hot water, I don't want anything."
Mhm.
But the police were really kind.
So why did you deny all of that?
Because I felt it's not right. It's not right how they detained me.
Mm.
They wanted to put this
And not right at the
protest.
same time when your followers protested.
Yeah, they wanted to protest under my leadership. They knew if I'm there, the protest will be huge. So they detained me. And I was really worried because they snatched away my phone. I
Mm.
couldn't contact my students. But because previous day I had prepared them, I had told them very clearly. Because previous day, I went to one of the police stations. They called me. They made me speak to all the
Okay.
big officers.
Mm.
I was not convinced.
Mhm.
Then I got a call from another police station. I went there because
Mm.
they didn't give us the permission for Freedom Park, which
Mhm.
they had agreed before.
Mhm.
They told me, Anganwadi people are protesting, ma'am. Once they vacate, we will give you.
Okay.
So 2 days, my students kept going there asking for letter. They didn't give us.
Mhm.
That night, they're like, we won't give you this
Mhm.
thing permission. So I sat in that police station till early morning, 4 o'clock.
Did you get a call from big leaders like in support of you?
Not really, they were not aware of it because it was
Okay.
early morning, 4 o'clock.
Mhm.
They thought I've taken the permission and all that. The
Mhm.
police they didn't know that they had denied it in the
Mhm.
previous night, right?
Mhm.
So morning, I went home at 4 o'clock in the night. Morning 8, I was here in the
Yeah.
place where we had asked all the students to assemble.
Mhm.
8:30 they detained me. The
Mhm.
protest was about to start at 10.
Okay.
Like,
Mhm.
I have zero idea why they would detain me at 8. I thought
Mhm.
if they do that, I told my students they'll do at 10 o'clock.
Mhm.
8 o'clock was a volunteers meet. You know, around 100 volunteers were there. They were yet to come
Mhm.
and they just detained me. Then the volunteers who were there, I just told them very clearly, no matter what, go ahead with the plan.
Mhm.
The police tried to scare them, and even the previous night, I should really appreciate all those students who volunteered. Every police inspector, the highest level to this thing, they told them your career will be spoiled if we put
Mhm.
FIR on you and all of this.
That
But the
fear,
students did
yeah.
not get scared at
No, I
all.
wanted to ask you a question about that. The students have that fear, this fear, this forever fear in their mind. If they participate in protest,
Yes.
if they, go against the government,
Yes.
voice against the government, so there will be some kind of black spot and
Yeah.
UPSC or KPSC, whichever PSC, that career will be affected.
Yes.
what do you want to tell them? Like, is it okay for them to come on streets and protest?
So I think it's only not right after you get into service to come out and protest. That's in the code of conduct. But before that, so many students protested yesterday. They were also, told that we will put FIR on you and your career will get spoiled. But remember, no FIR can spoil your career, even if they put FIR.
Even if there is FIR, it won't spoil their career.
Yeah. So that will be civil. Only criminal cases, like robbery, murder and stuff, that might spoil your career. This way you will be like political prisoners, because you will be protesting and being detained. You won't be arrested for anything.
It can be a political movement also.
Yeah. Last time when we protested in front of KPSE, because there was section 144. Section 144 in the library. I just have one. Like last time KPSE. No. Maybe. That was my first one. Although I've attended so many protests so far, there are no FIRs on me. KPSE was the first FIR on me. Yeah.
So what about youth entering into politics? So many people have that aspiration.
Yeah.
Right? But when they look at today's politics, they think that it is almost impossible to make a career out of politics.
Yeah.
So even though our Prime Minister, many leaders have told the youth, they can consider politics as career. But there is this apprehension, this doubt.
I was doubtful as well, to be honest. Because there is
But again, you had
a lot of
something to be, of course, you had a degree from Columbia University.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, that helped a lot. And even my experience there,
Correct,
because I got into manifesto thing, through there. But one thing I know is, in politics, if you see the most, successful, take for example Karnataka politics, none of them had a political background before.
Okay.
The most successful ones are always the beginners.
Pioneers.
So you don't have to worry about whether you have a political background or not. And mostly
what it takes to sacrifice a safe career and these pressures, expectations, from
one
family,
thing is, yes,
friends.
that is there. I understand most of them will be from economically backward section, and they will be the only breadwinners for their families. Then it will definitely be a little difficult to take such risks.
It requires passion, basically.
Yeah, it requires a lot of passion and definitely financial support, maybe from family and all that. But politics is a game of people. People trust you, people support you, you're already successful. When you have people
Are there
support,
any specific qualities that one should develop?
I think you should have a vision first. You should have one particular cause, and you should have a target group whom you represent. For example, for me, it's women and youth. Correct? Like women first thing, and then comes youth. Yesterday, what I did was, yes, I understand youth problem, and I was an aspirant as well. So I totally understand their problems. And I really felt for how, whenever I explain in some of the libraries, I remember seeing tears in one of the girls' eyes when I was telling her, I understand you people. Then I'm like, okay, this is a genuine cause. When you stand up for a genuine cause, people will see that. And when you're not being selfish, because I told them very clearly, they will detain me and I want a secondary leadership. I had prepared some of my volunteers.
Are you seeing any change today, like many youth entering into politics?
A lot of youth are entering politics. If I see in my own political party or every other political party, the youth wing is definitely very strong. They're getting stronger
but again,
and stronger.
Most of them come from, political families.
Yeah.
Key posts are held by people who already have political background.
Yeah, the key positions are held by them. Yes, true. But at the ground level, there are always people without any, political background.
No, can they really dream of getting elected someday to legislative assemblies or parliament?
So what I did was, I researched on all the political leaders who I see as one of these role models. And I saw that they all started at grassroots level. Some of them started as board presidents. They started as councillors.
Correct.
They started as ZP members. They started as president of one of the organizations. They worked at the ground level first. None of them had backgrounds. They're all very powerful leaders today. most of them have become chief ministers and gone till
Some end up to
cabinet
become
ministers.
Prime Minister.
Yeah. I think all it takes is hope and hard work with the people, patience, and you have to read a lot of books. You have to understand the life of the politicians. You have to see how they overcame their barriers and challenges. That gives you a lot of confidence, because if when you saw me getting detained, it only because of my UPSC preparation that I was confident. When
So do you remember anything from Lakshmikant now? Like
Lakshmikant, yeah, I do keep refreshing myself. There are 3 books which I keep referring. One is Bipin Chandra's book.
Oh, good.
And then Lakshmikant, political, Indian polity, and India's struggle for independence.
So
Bipin
now you
Chandra.
see Lakshmikant in action every day.
Oh, yeah. But the sad part is most of the elected representatives, they themselves don't know what constitution is today.
Correct. Yes.
And I would definitely be very happy if people who prepare for UPSC, KPSC and civil service get into politics, because they would have already had this knowledge of politics and how constitution works, and they'll be passionate about it.
I keep wondering about it. Like 99% of them don't make it every year. So there is so much talent actually.
Yeah.
Again, maybe it is lack of ambition or this sense of lack of insecurity. So that is preventing them from getting into politics. Maybe you people should have a special scheme for them. Maybe like train them, induct them, and do something about it.
That's a very good idea actually, because they have so much knowledge in them that will be of use.
So if there is professionalism
say for policy
in politics,
making,
that can happen.
Yes,
actually.
for policy making, because this syllabus that you have for UPSC, KPSC, it's such a wonderful syllabus. You don't get that in any degree.
Correct.
You will be like, if not masters, generalists,
Yes.
in all the subjects. And that definitely helps them get a bird's view of what's happening. And their knowledge can be accessed while making an effective policy.
Okay.
These people should be in politics.
So, are you confident of getting elected to maybe as an MLA?
Yeah.
MP?
So when you ask me why I work at the ground level or after my US this thing, most of them thought like, I am someone who wants to get nominated either to legislative council or a Rajya Sabha. But I don't know why I love working with the people. So I've started working at the ground level in the same area where I was born and brought up in, same constituency. It depends on the party whether they want to give me a ticket or not, but I'm doing my best.
So are you confident of getting ticket in future?
I have to. We don't know, but I will do my best to gain all the confidence of the people.
You're hopeful that your work will be recognized and
if they think I have winnability, then they will definitely give. It's my hope that my party will give.
It's about winnability.
Winnability, yes. Winnability plays a huge role here. And of course, the other factor will be anywhere in every party, money plays a very important role. And if you have a popular support, then it really is not a big deal.
But do you have that kind of resources? Like,
I can't spring scores together, but I'm sure people will trust in me and fund me, maybe.
Okay.
Yeah, good. I'm believing that.
Good. So
generous people like yourself. I've already won a funder.
So let's see where it goes.
Yeah.
So based on all of your experiences, now what are the 3 lessons that you have learned?
One thing is courage. Courage, whether you have monetary background or a political background, whatever it is, when you know something is right, go ahead. Nothing can go wrong. But never show people that you are intimidated. If you are aspiring to be in politics, show them that you are very strong and courageous to take over. Because especially when you are a woman, they doubt you. You have to keep proving yourself at every step that you're better than men. You're better than men. More than proving my mettle and my leadership skill, I have to keep proving that I'm better than men. That's more difficult, because if I'm myself, I might be a much better leader than to keep proving that I can be as good as men. That is one challenge and one learning I have seen. The other thing is reading. I read a lot of books,
Mhm.
and that keeps me. If I don't read for like a week or two, I feel very left out. I feel like
Mm.
the world is moving ahead and I've left out.
Mhm.
So I keep reading books. I read a lot,
Good.
and because of which I get this confidence.
Mhm.
And I keep a track of all the current affairs, newspapers, and all
Good.
that.
Mhm.
I started. That habit started from my UPSC preparation. I should
Mhm.
really thank my UPSC preparation. Although we struggle so much, although we don't get into exams or whatever, knowledge that we gain and
Mhm.
the writing skills.
Correct. Yes.
Yeah, I came to you also,
Yeah,
when
yeah,
you
right.
were also just starting up regarding
Essay
writing
writing.
skills only. You
That
gave
day
a
I was
very good.
actually evaluating essay copies.
Yes,
that day.
yes. You
Mhm.
gave me very good insights about writing skills as well.
Mhm.
That's one thing. And the other thing is, when you have a vision, when you
Mhm.
have a goal,
Mhm.
no matter what, if one path fails, there is a difference between path and a goal.
Mhm.
You have a goal, say, for reaching some place,
Mhm.
and you have a plan to take a bus. If that doesn't work, will you just stop going to that place? No,
We
you will
walk.
take a rickshaw or you will even walk if
Mhm.
nothing works out. So that's how it is. You
Okay.
just have to reach the goal one or the other way.
But how are you dealing with this partisanship? Like,
Mm.
sometimes you may have to say things against your conscience.
Yeah.
You know that, opposition party might have done something good, but even then you have to say something
Yeah.
against
So,
it.
so thankfully, so far, I've never come across something where I had to compromise on my conscience. Thankfully. But in future, it might be, but I'll try my best to avoid it. After my thorough research only, I joined a political party because
Mhm.
it went with my ideology. And even if something is wrong with this, it will be because of the individuals, not
Mhm.
with the party itself.
Mhm.
So there's nothing wrong in blaming the individual,
Mhm.
because any political party for that matter is like an ocean.
Correct. Mhm.
Like, just because one person did something, that doesn't mean the whole, ideology is wrong,
Mhm.
right? So that's how I see this.
Mhm.
Like you spoke about partisanship, like you spoke about the dirty politics. Just because one person doesn't support you doesn't mean you don't have a growth. There's
Mhm.
always others who will support you in the party.
Mhm. Are there any shortcuts in politics?
There's no shortcut. If you take shortcuts, your political career will be very short.
It will be over soon.
Yeah, you just
There are
have to
many
work hard,
examples.
have patience, be very assertive of what you want.
Mhm.
Otherwise, people will just ignore you and, intimidate you
Mhm.
into not aspiring more.
So, how are you balancing your personal life with politics?
Personal life.
So you don't
I
have.
literally, these past 10 days when we were organizing this protest, I've gone home at like 9 o'clock in the morning and woke up and left at 9 o'clock again.
Mhm.
And I've only been on field visiting all the institutes and this thing. The same thing happens even otherwise. I'm in my
Mhm.
constituency, working at the ground level. I do a
Mhm.
lot of other
Mhm.
work. Like during the COVID times, everybody kept giving ration kits and stuff. But then I realized, if you don't have money to buy food,
Mhm.
what will women do for sanitary napkins?
Mhm.
So I started distributing sanitary napkins, spreading menstrual hygiene awareness and stuff. Then I realized my work in UNICEF,
Mhm.
where we work with the malnourished children, and Anganwadis usually have malnourished
Mhm.
children.
Correct.
They measure
Mhm.
and keep. So in my constituency, there are around 200 kids. Varies every month, depending
Mhm.
on their age increase and all that. So I started giving nutrition kit, like
Mhm.
protein powders and calcium, vitamin, multivitamin, syrup and stuff. And now I'm working on skill
That you
development and
consider as
placement
part of
assistance.
personal life.
Oh, yeah, we were talking about personal life. Yeah. So I would, regarding my personal life, yeah, at home I have my mom, my dad, my brother,
So
and
I have
his
this
wife.
cliched question,
Yeah.
So I
People
see
talk
many
about,
many
yeah.
girls coming to me talking, about their preparation. So I have tissue papers only for like
Oh,
girls. I mean,
yeah.
so the moment they cross age
I think that's why you
25,
kept a tissue box here,
no,
thinking.
that is no, not for that. Like we actually discussed that. I told them that she's not somebody who will cry. I mean, you use the word courage. I mean,
Okay,
so it was.
thank you.
So
Yeah.
yeah, the thing is, so they keep saying that their parents are pressurizing them to marry. The moment
Yeah.
they cross 25,
Yeah.
many UPSC aspirants, girls,
Yeah.
face this problem. So your parents are not worried about this.
They are definitely worried. They have been worried for the past many years.
Hmm.
But I'm being very assertive and told them, you know what? I want to prove myself first.
Hmm.
And I don't know if I will be happy,
Can you
without achieving
generalize
my.
and say that somewhere being single can make you more successful?
No, I would say that would be a wrong statement giving to
Mm.
students, youngsters. If they really want to get married,
Because
if they
women
really want to
leaders
do
we
that, they
have
should do
had,
that.
women leaders we have had in the past in Indian
Ah, yes,
politics.
yes. So there's a book called Pandora's Daughters.
Mm-hmm.
It has the chapter on all the female leaders, starting from Mayawati,
There's a sacrifice
ma'am,
final.
Jayalalitha ma'am,
exactly.
Mamta Banerjee ma'am,
Mm.
Sonia Gandhi ma'am, everyone.
Mm-hmm.
It's about their lives.
Mm-hmm.
And you see the same pattern carried
Correct,
there.
correct.
I read that book. I
Even
was
in
like,
other
oh yeah.
countries also, not.
Yeah, if you say so, yes. But that doesn't mean,
But you
Sheila,
believe you can marry and then continue.
you
to do-
can still do, but you need a supportive partner, of course.
Correct.
Only if the
Mm.
partner is supportive, yes.
Mm.
Otherwise, there are many people who have had to compromise on a lot of
Correct,
things. Yes.
Mm. So, at any moment, at any point of your life, you'll put public service,
In front?
In
Yeah,
front.
definitely. Yeah, I've sacrificed a lot for this.
Mm.
And I have a goal. Let's see.
Okay. So, one hypothetical question.
Okay.
Let's say I hope you will become CM. Then, if you become
What?
CM of Karnataka, what are the first three things that you would like to do?
First thing, I want to see to that not one woman in Karnataka has one drop of tears in her eyes because of violence against her or such discrimination. One. Like, I have a lot of policies already drafted in
In
my
your
head.
mind? Okay.
One of these Nordic countries made this sanitary products free of cost,
Correct.
completely for everyone. That was something amazing. Next comes this paternity leave.
Mm.
When you take, there's a problem in careers. Both of them, a man and a woman, have the same qualification. They get into a job. The
Okay.
woman had to take a break. The man moves ahead with his
Career.
experience.
Mm.
But by the time she comes back, she'll still be there. The promotion is hampered.
Mhm.
The solution for this is compulsory paternity leave. These are the kind of policies that really help both men and women support each other.
Mhm.
Coming to this toxic masculinity, gender inequality puts a lot of pressure on men.
Mhm.
This is something I want to achieve. If that's the first thing. Second thing is about youth
Mhm.
employment.
Mm.
Karnataka should become the topmost when it comes to employment. Although it was when all this IT
Correct.
boom happened,
Mm.
and now it's again going back. And you see this youth taking all misguided, and the communal murders and stuff that you see how misguided they are. That's only because their energies are not channelized in the right way. Their productivity is not being used properly.
Mhm.
That is something I want to do. Create more jobs and education.
Mhm.
Education is one of the most important thing, whether it is for a woman or a man.
Correct.
Intersectionality, where rural, urban, the
Mhm.
quality of education should be equal. That is
Mhm.
something I want to concentrate on.
Third one.
Regional
inequality.
imbalance is
Yes,
there in
regional
Karnataka. That
inequality.
is something I wanted to address.
Mhm.
Like, beyond Bangalore
Correct.
is my thing, because Bangalore is already developed.
Mhm.
Even whether you concentrate on it or not,
So that's a
it
good,
will
that's
keep
a good
developing.
slogan, actually.
Yeah, beyond Bangalore is my motto. That you can add as the third one.
Mhm.
Like, when I visit Bidar and all that, I can't believe it is so underdeveloped. The North Karnataka.
Mhm.
There are colleges there, engineering colleges there. They have to come here for the jobs. How will the district even develop?
Mhm.
If there are no companies to give them employment. And think about the demography. If all the youngsters come to Bangalore, what about the demography there? Just
Mhm.
having colleges are not enough. We need companies there to give them jobs there.
Mhm.
Tier 2 cities, tier 3 cities. We need to develop that. Yeah, you can add that as the third one.
Okay. So one final question. Uh, there are so many problems in politics today, so which are demotivating people to join politics. So now, uh, are you hopeful that someday we will see clean politics when you become like, of course you are the part of politics when you get into powerful positions? Do you think will you be able to change politics for better? Obama tried to
Do that,
Yeah.
yes. But you see, when Obama was the president for 2 times, and
Mhm.
his slogan was hope. Like, he had a hope, and
Bipartisanship and-
that was like, one thing was true. It was historical because of the first black president. Although he did so much, The next time, people
Correct.
elected
Yes.
Trump. Someone who was totally opposite to his ideology, and
Right.
it was literally like destroying everything that he did.
Correct.
So until people are educated and people understand that, this is what they need, no matter how much you try within politics,
Again, that again
non
depends on
awareness.
employment, job security.
Exactly. They want you to remain unemployed. They want you to remain uneducated so that you will elect them.
Hmm.
You know, like you need to think about not when people vote for like money,
Hmm.
1000 rupees, 500 rupees, they sell their vote. They should know that they're selling their rights for like 500 rupees. This is a campaign I want to take up in the next few months.
Good. So, what is your ambition?
That's something. Definitely reaching some of the highest positions in politics is my
Hmm.
ambition, and making this change that I just spoke about.
So, I hope you succeed in that,
Thank you.
and I hope motivated by your story in this podcast, I hope you will also enter politics, the viewers, more and more numbers, and make our politics better, clean, more public service oriented.
Thank you.
So let's see. I hope the change takes place. Thank
Yeah,
you so much. Bhavya.
with people like you who are so supportive to students, and you doing this podcast thing, I think you should bring more and more people, and so that the students get this confidence. The last thing I want to tell the students is, when I was a student as well, I thought UPSC is the end of my life. If I don't get in, it's over.
Hmm.
But I think the attitude should be like, this is one of the things I'm trying.
Hmm.
If I don't clear, if they don't select me, it's their loss. I will
Correct.
do much better, in a much better position. If they have that confidence, I'm sure that fear won't stop them from clearing the exam on one side.
Hmm.
And even if they don't clear, they'll have this hope. They were like, I've gone through a lot of depression phases as well during UPSC, and after that,
Hmm.
even now I go through depressions
Hmm.
many times, even in politics, or something goes wrong
Hmm.
personally or professionally. I go through depressions. That is something we need to acknowledge. It's okay.
So depression is a very serious word. Like
Yeah.
you've been through depression.
Yeah, I have been through a lot of cycles of depression.
Hmm.
But understanding that, yes, I'm in depression, I need to reach out to people, share it with the students, with your friends, and just understanding that it's a phase which will pass,
Hmm.
will help you. In some days, I will be out of it.
Hmm.
That is what I think you should do a series on this, because UPSC students, they go through, or KPSC,
No, that is
that
the
mental
intention of the
status.
podcast.
Yes,
actually.
yes. I have gone
This,
through a
this is
lot of
something
depression, and
beyond
I acknowledge that.
UPSC,
Yeah.
Give hope to people. Tell them that there are so many avenues. One themselves can create, and there are existing avenues. It is just as you said, it requires certain amount of courage, conviction,
Yes.
risk-taking ability to
Yes.
get into these. So I hope many more people will do that in the future.
Yeah, I'm sure they will.
So thank you so much, Bhavya. It was
Thank you.
such a pleasant experience.
Thank you so
talking
much
to you.
for giving me this opportunity and talking
Yeah.
to the students.
Yeah. Thank
I
you.
hope you all succeed, and all the best to your future.